Good day everyone, I am Alfred Valencia.
I am Sofia Rindato.
I am Hannah Theresa Alfonso.
And for today's presentation, we will discuss and take a dive deeper into the topic on how the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, plays a significant role in the dissemination of Philippine arts through religion. We will be tackling NCCA's background, establishments, projects, and of course its very rich history and how it helped to further develop and strengthen the religious culture and traditions in the Philippines.
Religious entities include places of worship such as mosques, synagogues, and churches. Other sites are programs managed by religious entities such as schools, hospitals, daycare centers, adoption agencies, shops, shelters, food banks, and organizations are also considered religious entities. These religious entities promote worship, teaching, spiritual well-being, and even culture and heritage.
A brief background on the history of the National Commission for Culture and Arts, also known as the Pambansam Commission para sa Kultura at Mga Sining. It was established after the downfall of the Marcos dictatorship in 1986. After martial law, various sectors of society worked together towards the common goal of restoring democracy in the nation. One of those organizations was a group of Filipino artists known as the Alliance of Artists for Creation of a Ministry of Culture. Besides their goal of wanting to restore our cultural heritage, they wanted to address the issues in the educational system of the Philippines. In 1987, the Aquino administration responded to the AACMC's proposal by issuing Executive Order 118, which institutionalized the Presidential Commission on Culture and the Arts. Together with the AACMC, these two agencies worked together to revive the culture and traditions of the Filipinos. And because of their efforts of promoting cultural development, on April 3, 1992, the Congress supported their initiatives by publishing the Republic Act No. 7356, which replaced the PCCA and established the National Commission for Culture and Arts. Presently, the NCCA building is situated at Intramuros, Manila, and it serves as the official government agency for culture in the Philippines. As of November 2021, there are currently 6 cultural agencies affiliated with the organization. These institutions work together in the pursuit of promoting unity in the preservation of cultural properties, researching the potential uses of local materials, conducting conservation training programs, and disseminating local techniques to the foreign market to gain international recognition. On November 19, 2019, the NCCA, along with the 6 cultural agencies, held a commission meeting to discuss the strategic plan of 2020 to 2022. Here they established the value statements, including the vision, mission, and the core values of NCCA. The approved vision statement reads as follows: a Filipino people with a strong sense of nationhood and a deep respect for cultural diversity.
As likewise approved during the Commission meeting on November 19, 2019, adopting the NCCA Strategic Plan 2020 to 2022, the Commission's mission statement reads as follows: NCCA is the prime government agency that safeguards, develops, and promotes Filipino culture through the formulation and implementation of enabling policies and programs, as well as the administration of endowment funds for culture and the arts. Besides, the said commission is expected to formulate and implement policies and plans in accordance with the principles stated in sections 8 and 12 of RA number 7356, which are as follows.
The association among the affiliated agencies became a means to promote the Filipino arts and heritage. Executive Order No. 80, signed in 1999, ordered the transfer of Culture Center of the Philippines, which is the prime center of exhibiting Philippine arts and culture, National Historical Commission of the Philippines, which promotes the Philippines' culture and arts by administering research and sharing historical works, National Museum of the Philippines takes the lead in maintaining, storing, and protecting cultural properties. The National Library of the Philippines, which is the home of the country's important materials and documents. And National Archives of the Philippines, which is the authoritative disposition of the country's permanent records and documented historical values. They are all under NCCA Policy and Program Coordination. Executive Order No. 80 guarantees the preservation, growth, and dissemination of Philippine culture and the arts to the other people. To cultivate a more robust Philippine culture, the Republic Act No. 9155 entails including commissions sa wikang Filipino in the agencies of NCCA. These affiliated agencies have their role in preserving, conserving, and developing the country's culture and arts.
Being the overall policy-making body, coordinating and grants-giving agency for the preservation, development, and promotion of Philippine arts and culture, the NCCA has created various projects and activities throughout the course of its existence. Since our study is focused on the religious aspect of Philippine arts, dissemination, and preservation, only those projects in relation to religious arts will be discussed. Firstly, we have the Program for Conservation of Cultural Heritage. This project focuses on the protection and promotion of tangible and intangible cultural heritage. As part of the NCCA program thrusts, Culture and Arts 2013 to 2016, the program's goal is to strengthen and expand ancestral and indigenous houses, habitats that make indigenous culture possible, and important sacred and cultural spaces.
Next, the National Commission for the Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, said it will not allow the construction of a Chinese-funded bridge to be the reason why San Agustin Church and 3 other Baroque churches lose their status as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which led to NCCA's objection to the construction of 4.243 billion peso Binondo Intramuros Bridge project. Studies were conducted by the Commission to determine and confirm whether the construction of the bridge will release the mentioned sites from being considered as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The study was released last April 2019.
Then, the Republic Act No. 10066, are also known as an act providing for the protection and conservation of the national cultural heritage, strengthening the NCCA and its affiliated cultural agencies, and for other purposes, aims to provide for the protection, preservation, and promotion of the nation's cultural heritage. The NCCA is also responsible for preserving and safeguarding the World Heritage status of sites in the country set by UNESCO. Currently, the Philippines have 9 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, with 4 of them being Roman Catholic churches, namely the Church of Santo Tomas de Villanueva, Church of Nuestra Señora de la Asunción, Paway Church, and Church of San Agustin in Manila.
For the fourth project, we have the UNESCO and NCCA partnership on the documentation of the Philippine heritage. The partnership was formalized back in 2017, following the documentation and the post-production that was undertaken in the years 2018 to 2019. This project consists of documentaries that include religious topics such as Poong Nazareno, the translation of the Black Nazarene of Quiapo, Manila, on the popular devotion to the religious icon, Morionan, a Lenten tradition in Marinduque Island, on the penitential ritual the province is known for, Mukha ng Morionan, mask making for Morionan Lenten tradition of Marinduque, and more.
The Philippine Registry of Cultural Property, or PRECOP, stores the National Heritage Site of the Philippines that NCCA organized. The PRECOP also promotes the preservation and conservation of the cultural heritage to benefit present and future Filipinos. Some famous spots and landmarks in the Philippines that were registered in PRECOP are the Walls of Intramuros, Vigan, Rizal Park, University of Santo Tomas, and famous churches such as Quiapo Church, Manila Cathedral, Cebu Metropolitan Cathedral, and Paway Church.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines, or CBCP, and the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, have an agreement that comprises the movable and immovable cultural heritage of artistic and historical significance, including the churches from the colonial period as legally protected by the Republic, museums, archives, and libraries belonging to the religious organizations. The properties that are cultural heritage of the Catholic Church should be protected and conserved for artistic, historical, scientific, spiritual, and other intangible values. The agreement of CBCP and NCAA includes being open to the exchange of resources and facilities towards the successful preservation and management of the heritage of the Church. Both parties shall comply with the laws regarding the construction, renovation, and demolition of structures that are included in the contract. The agreement also includes the research, documentation, preservation, protection, and promotion of the culture of the Church that is part of the history of the Philippines. And for our conclusion, the researchers have found that the NCCA helps preserve, conserve and promote the Philippines' historic properties and cultural heritage by developing mandate systems and different projects. The NCCA, along with the 6 cultural agencies, work together to restore the Philippine arts and culture to establish an indisputable link to the history of the Philippines that can be bequeathed to the future generations of Filipinos. As religion has played a vital role in the Philippine culture and the arts, the Filipino people must continue to promote and preserve the wide array of religious entities since they are a reflection of the rich historical and cultural identity of the country and serve as a gateway to national development. This has been Alfred Valencia,
Sofia Rindato,
Hannah Theresa Alfonso.
and we thank you for listening.